Hello to all our sewing and designing friends from Marcy's studio, where I have a really special guest. My friend Diane Ericson is here, and she has some fabulous things to share with you about putting fabrics together.
I'm working on a really cool combination shirt, and I always love the part about putting the fabrics together. I spend a lot of time on that, and I thought I'd just give you a couple of tips and things that I think about when I'm actually pulling fabrics. Look at this print. This is a killer print. I'm really attracted to it. It's very brushy, arty, and what I want to do is take all my cues from this print, so when I show you the final combination, you go, oh yeah, the print still stands out. Sometimes we get so into it, I know that we can end up with something that where the print we love doesn't really show up very much. So I'm looking at a couple things. I'm looking at a small texture kind of thing and maybe a solid. And I wanted to show you this because I think this is kind of interesting. Look at these two stripes. It's like, okay, a stripe would be great with this. A black and white would be great with this. A lot of us would do that. This is a little too clean, I think, for this. Look at the difference between these two stripes and these two stripes. Do you see how your eye can kind of go back and forth with these a little differently? Because there's a little more variation in this, and I think it's a great combo. I also love that it's kind of got a second side, which is a little bit, seems to be a little lighter, and I like this. And I'm not sure yet, but I know I want some of those too. So these two are out. These two more defined stripes are definitely out. These keep my eye moving back and forth, and I don't get stuck on the stripe. Same kind of thing could happen with the dots. You know, a really defined clean dot like these two are could be interesting, but they really aren't compatible for my eye. If I was going to use a stripe, I'd use something like this that's irregular, so that my eye keeps making that play between the elements back and forth. So I'm thinking about that. Then as I was looking at this bolt, I had this really cool rubber band on the bolt, and I went, wait a minute, I love that color. So look at this rubber band, and I'm looking at the quantity. I'm thinking, you know, I might make some piping out of that color if I could find it. So I head over to the big Marcy barn and look at this. This knit, oh my gosh, the perfect color. So if I was going to use this, one of the things that's important for me is I want to see the quantity. I really quickly want to fold this out, so I'm only looking at small amounts. So if I put this together and I put a little bit inside, you can see how different that is than if I have the big chunk. So right now what I'm headed towards is a really cool piece with a combination of these, and I also am noticing the changes in color. I'm also really liking this, which looks really unusual when I pull it away and open it out, but it's really a nice kind of muted piece that pulls them all together. So I'm feeling really good about the combination right now, and I'm going to be really excited to see how for you to see how the garment comes out.
Now, let me pose a couple questions,
Yes.
Diane.
Yes.
One is, what is this going to be? Do you know yet, or are you just kind of putting together a story?
You know, I'm putting together a story, but I'm leaning towards a shirt or a summer dress. Probably something with some angles, and that's what's keeping me into the stripe. I would love to add, you know, pull some things into this, some construction details that will kind of elevate some of the angles that I'm seeing in here.
And what are these fabrics?
These are linens, mostly linens. I'm a linen girl through and through, mostly linens. And I do have this beautiful orange color is a really lovely spandex knit. So I think a little bit of that could be great. I really love to combine knits and wovens together, but I tend to kind of go in the direction of the linens.
My final question, people are always asking, okay, I've put together this great combination of fabrics.
Yeah.
How much should I buy? How much are you cutting on each of these?
Oh boy, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? My take is always buy less than you think you need, because you'll be more inventive. If I have a piece like this, I know I could probably not get more of this. I want to make sure I have enough. So I actually have a couple of yards of this. Big purchase for me, because I'm usually in the quarter of a yard, half a yard. And as I look at the combo, if I go, yeah, I love that, I would want to do maybe I mean, see, as I hold this up to myself, I could see doing like a real color blocked thing using the dark and the light. So I might want to pick a little bit more quantity of a second piece, and then half a yard, quarter of a yard of little bits that I know would make great binding, great piping, collar, accent, etc. And you know, this is a moment when maybe buttons get into it or trim gets into it. But you can see as I fold this out, you know, I also have that, you know, that nice play happening, and if it goes on the bias, then it keeps the movement in the fabric. So I can play with that.
I really love the way that gray stripe is a blender and a transition between
Isn't
the
it?
darker color.
Yeah, it's definitely that, and I want it to flow one to the other. And just like I mentioned in the beginning, here's the thing you started with that you love. So keep it up front and keep it the main part of your design, so your design is stronger that way.
Can't wait to see what you do.
I know, I'm excited to see what it looks like. Bye.